They saw him hanging on the cross. They saw him unrecognizable. They saw him pulled down. They saw him taken to the tomb. But yet they had to hope that he was going to rise in 3 days. That was not on the forefront of their mind. Because on this journey, they're talking back and forth. I remember. Have you ever had one of those deep conversations with somebody about what you remember after somebody has died? You remember the memory of them. You remember, man, they used to cook good. Remember, they used to invite us over. Remember, they were always loving. Remember, they were this and that. Remember. I can't believe they're gone. And this is where they were at. They were grieved because they loved him. They witnessed a man that never did anything wrong. But now, because of circumstances of the world, of those leaders, of the corruptedness, they could not fathom that Christ was going to come back to life. And I say this because what has God promised you? What has he promised you in your life? In your walk of Christianity? Is it seeing your husband saved? Is it seeing your daughter or your son come back from that drug addiction? Is it seeing a marriage restored? Is it a family member that is sick and dying? And the Lord said, I'm going to heal them. I'm going to restore it. I'm going to make it whole. Maybe he's called you to ministry and you just, I'm not adequate for it. And everything around you has seemed to turn into a situation that everything contradicts the promise you made to me, Lord. I don't know if any of you have ever felt that heavy, but I know that this week alone I have. This week alone I have. But it is that thing that will exercise you out to test your faith. How many of you know that untested faith is untrusted faith? And God will test you. He won't tempt you. But he'll test you because he knows you have everything you need to pass that test so that you can get into the greater glory of works for him. Amen? Amen. Now think about this. These disciples saw and they clearly remembered that Jesus was apprehended like a dangerous criminal in the Garden of Gethsemane. Don't you think they thought about how they failed him? When Jesus asked them to pray for at least an hour, and they slept instead. And in his greatest need, his hour of need, they failed. When he was being led to being a judge before the councils, and when he was going to go before Pilate, these things, and they witnessed the crucifixion from far away. You know, they failed him there. They couldn't follow. They were in fear. What were the authorities going to do to them? They left him in his greatest time of need. And these disciples are walking this road. They're walking in the opposite direction of where they should be with the other brethren. They're walking away from them because they said, God, I'm a mess. You've been so good to me, but I'm a mess. And I failed you. I've messed up. I've fallen out. I'm weak. I want to call it quits because you called me to be a fisherman of men, but I'm better off a guy that goes to fish, and I'll just sit out there in the boat and see what I can catch because I cannot do what you've called me to do. And some of you are dealing with that tonight. That promise, that igniting in your spirit, that thing that you need to let go and you keep going back to. But I want to tell you something. Jesus entered in. Jesus entered in. On that road to Emmaus, he came. I believe that these disciples were at a point in their life that they were broken. And some of us, we need to get to that point in our life where we become so broken, we allow him to be strong. Because we want to keep on being strong. We want to keep on holding on. We want to keep on doing. And the Lord is saying, I want to be strong for you.